Right, let's do this. All around me, silly messed up faces, frantic paces, bright and early for their daily doses. It's hypnosis, chemical mesmerizing. Our tears are for the frightened masses. COVID passes, divided masses. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. More rules tomorrow, more rules tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. Dreams of the world still normal are the best I've ever had. When people trust false science and do something very bad, like handing over freedom, it's a very, very masked world. Masked world. Start controlling your world. Masked world.
Welcome to Patrick Roberts, Our New Timeline.
Hello. Hey guys. How's everybody doing? Been quite a while. And the introduction goes out to Buzzacino and author Buzzacino. And he's got his, that train just had to hit the right moment when I went live. Always does it. But Buzzacino is the one that did the song, and he is now an author, and great poems. Welcome, Cammie, Creek Mary, Annette. I'm here just finishing dinner, cooking so I can go out and have a coffee and relax before I eat. Okay, awesome. So, just getting over a bit of the flu or a cold. It seems to be everybody. Anytime anybody gets sick nowadays, it's automatically the C19er. It's like, anybody hear the flu? The flu? Is that even a word anymore? But where do I start? Where do I start? There's so much that has happened, and I'll tell you, I could feel my body just wearing you at first I thought it was like, okay, I gotta break into this because it's your muscles gotta get used to it and all that. Boy, I have never felt I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I have never felt it like this before. it's everywhere in my freaking body. And it takes hours in the morning to like unjam an arm or a leg or um yeah. So and well, anyways, one of the biggest things that I didn't think of before getting into filling in spots here and there at the bar was I am completely fighting it morally now because of seeing some people the way they get, and I don't feel comfortable that I'm the one that sold the what to them. So I'm kind of battling with that. So to tell you the truth, I don't see. I mean, it's it's kind of it's such a like a mess because of them only having one bartender, basically one bartender before I came along, and now that one bartender went and got a full-time job. So yeah, and it's been hard. She hasn't completely left. She takes a day here or a day there. This week she took 2 days, so that was really good. Yeah, it gave me time to feel better, and like I couldn't do a live stream because I was either sleeping or working, volunteering. Let's put it that way, volunteering. And there was no way I was getting on to do a video. I was just not in the right mind. Hey, Colorado. Yeah, so and winter just snuck up so fast. And the thing of it is, talking with numerous people, there's this one person who is completely left, completely on Biden's train, and they can't do no wrong, the Democrat side, and I get I have a hard time not butting my nose in, and boy, we get into a heated argument every time, and everybody's shouting, "Stop talking politics!" And that's pretty much where it goes. Hey, Joe, that's where it goes. It never fails, and I hear it, and it just, they really believe that the insurrection happened and stuff like that, like the lots of the false flags. Oh my God, 9/11, not even close to even being awake on that. I mean, and where do you start? You really can't, because it's not. I'm definitely not out to try to wake anybody up anymore, because it just ain't. It's not going to happen unless it was meant to happen. Boy, I'm still trying to figure out though. All the time I go back to where are we? And It's crazy. I mean, nobody can explain. I've heard a lot of pretty good explanations for this could be. You know, what the Mandela effect could be, and they're all pretty cool explanations. You know, you hear them all around. You know, theories on it and everything. But nobody has a clue. Finally got the field level and cleared, ready for spring planting. Ollie and I got 12 cord stocked on pallets and ready to burn this winter. That's awesome. You guys are really working it, huh, Joe? Great deal. Hey, Blank Slate, welcome. I don't know where we're at, but it's a hellhole. Yeah, for sure. I can't time out Creek Mary. I tried. Really? Maybe because Creek Mary has a wrench. And why would you want to time out Creek Mary? Did I miss something? Why would you want to time out Creek Mary? I rewatched Gordy Rose talking about parallel dimensions and how they can go there and exploit their resources. I've been hearing an awful lot about time travel lately. You know, I think they had time travel, but I don't think they could really mess up. Like if they went to change something in time, I don't think that it would affect our time. Like if they left from our timeline, I don't think. I think it would be very hard to get back to the exact same timeline once you leave it. I don't know. Maybe they figured it out, but that could be the Mandela effect. But there's no way some of this stuff. You can blame some of the stuff on it, maybe. But a lot of stuff is supernatural. There's no doubt about it. Supernatural. Stuff that we can't explain ourselves, and because we see this 3D, with everything's got to fit in our little box here, and boy, will we be surprised when we finally wake up. Bing! Oh, wow. I'm to the point right now. I'm past the Mandela effect. I'm past a lot of the stages. You go through these many little stages through the awakening, I believe. You start all the way back with conspiracy theories, like JFK, and then you build your way up to 9/11, all that stuff. And it takes time to get to this point, and I'm past that, where I'm at the point where I'm realizing that and I know this is going to sound off the wall, but I'm realizing that this is all just a fake structure. Like this wall right here is it's not really here. So I'm trying to work myself to see past that and open myself up even more. I have been working on loving and accepting everyone and which still working on. I'm still working on that, but and we are all working on something, right? But I believe that we are all at this time and place ready to break out even further. And I think not only do we want to break out, or at least me want to break out further, I think we're being pushed at the same time, because this place is falling in on itself, and I have felt that for years, that it's like crumbling. It's crumbling. And not saying that this place ain't gonna, ever like destroy itself and not be here. It's just gonna change drastically to a point where we aren't even going to recognize it, and it's gonna be so low viberish that we can't contain ourselves in it, because we're up too far. Um, we have empathy and stuff like that, and we care about people and all that. So we're not going to be able to stay down this far, So that's what I mean by it's crumbling within itself fast, and the people that feel that they don't need this, I would never commit myself or suicide. That's not, not even, you can't do that. You cannot do that. It's almost done. It's almost done. Just hang in there, and I know it's hard, believe me, and it's very painful. I know that. Some of you I know are in a lot of pain, and I am too. So we just got to hang in there. This is almost done with. And yeah, I can't wait. That's Heaven's Gate kind of stuff. What? Am I talking Heaven's Gate kind of stuff? No, I'm talking the following of Jesus Christ. My faith. Hey, Catherine, welcome. Creek Mary, are you with us tonight? Everything okay? We are tight. We are supposed to be trust God's plan. Yes. Not time out. Time out, not time out. Creek Mary don't have a ranch. Well, what the heck? What the heck? That's cool, Joe. We stayed busy a few hours a day. Creek Mary said she doesn't have a wrench. I don't think there's anything I can do about it right now. Starcon will ban user and delete their comments. No, the only thing I can do from here, Creek Mary, right now is ban you. And I don't want to ban you. Yeah, I don't get a lot of being able to do a lot of stuff from here, from the phone. I'm doing this from the phone. Good. Is that a good, Creek Mary, that you're doing good? Oh, snap, Patrick. It's starting at goats. Laugh out, run through the wall. Woo! I want this world to be brought down. I'm ready. I will feel bad for my animals, but I've separated myself from most humans. Yeah, and we're gonna see our loved ones and our loved animals. I believe they are just as real and have a soul. I believe we'll see the animals again. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for anybody who is in. Because everybody, in a way, everybody is leveling up. some are lower than us, some are higher than us. And I'm in bed, but wanted to say hi. Hey, Jim, welcome. What's up, bro? Oh, you're getting ready to go to sleep, eh? Okay, all right. You have a good night's sleep. Love you, bro. So this, I don't know how long it's been since I've been on, a month or so, but the more I talk to people around, I mean, they're not even close to, they're not even on the same level. Like, it's so hard to explain, but I'm sure you guys do understand what I'm talking about. That it's so hard to hold a conversation with people that can only talk they religion, politics, movies. They very small box, and to try to entertain that for 8 hours a day, it's really wearing on me, and I don't like it. I don't like it because I feel like I'm falling backwards a little, and it's and I'm not saying this badly about anybody, but it's like little piranhas, like they're like trying to bring you down, but they don't know it. They don't know that's what they're doing, but they are, because they're my thought level can only ascertain their fucking thought level. That's as far as I can go. If I've tried to go out a little bit, just out of the box a little bit, and they turn me off. They put down whatever I brought out, or they just cannot. They literally look at me like I'm a fucking from a loony bin, and that's just breaking a little bit out of the box. And I just don't. I don't like it. It's like seeing everybody being programmed. I'm watching people being programmed. And it's hard. It's hard to do. It is so, not physically, but mentally. And when I get drained mentally, then it starts tearing at my physical. And I'm telling you, I'm having such a fucking hard time. Where it has affected me so physically that the next day, I swear, I could not even get out of bed. I was in so much pain and physically drained that I couldn't get out of bed. And I've done this several times with this, because I've had to work 3 days in a row, and to some people that may not be a whole lot, but to me, that's a lot. With the having to stay on the level of their capacity. And I'm not trying to say that I am in any way perfect or anything like that. All I'm saying is that I would rather think out of the box than be stuck in a loop. and I'm and to sit there and watch it is harder because you know, and like this is about one of the only jobs. Well, I guess I guess being a cashier somewhere could be about the same too. But as a bartender, you have to talk. I mean, I suppose I couldn't talk, but that would be very rude. And I do like to meet people, but it's there's no I can't even try to raise their level, which I've tried to do many a times. It just doesn't work. Yeah, Paul from Newcastle. We got one that can see. I wish you would take a break and come down and visit me. Yeah, but now see, this is the thing. If I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't take a break and come down there because I've been put in a position to be the one to lean on now. And it's like if I'm not there, then the owner is going to have to work that part. And he's retired and he's older and he doesn't want to be working 8 hours. Um, so it's now I'm in a sticky icky, which I wasn't even planning. This wasn't even meant to turn into something full time or even over half time, part time, even over that many hours. Um, but it ended into it. Now I gotta figure out how to get out of it. Um, well, it's either gonna be me to figure out how to get out of it, or it's gonna be my body just done. I'm done. And there was one time I wasn't late or anything, but I I by the time I went to bed at 2:30 or 3 in the morning, I woke up the next day like 5 minutes before 3 before I had to be in. Oh my god. I didn't even think I had it in me to jump out of bed and run around. But boy, I was so fucking sore. um I work with people all day most days. Yes, it's hard to watch, but God doesn't make mistakes. So if they are dealing with something, it is for them to learn. Some learn the hard way. Yeah. I'm satisfied to be a resource if people have questions. I don't worry. And more about waking people up. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to wake people up either. That I'm not trying to do that. You know, I just want to talk about other things than what they talk about normally. That's pretty much all I want. It's not like I'm trying to wake people up. And then I sit back and I look at it and I'm like, wow, if these are NPCs, they're fucking great. They're great at what the role that they play. The town alcoholic or whatever, you got a few of them, they come ruffling in the bar, sit down, and they say and do the same thing night after night. Night after night. They're definitely NPCs. You can definitely pick out I can see NPCs and I know when there's a real one, when there's a real person that comes into the bar, because we do have I do have two About 3 people out of everybody that comes in the bar, 3 people are awake. Not completely awake, but they know a lot. They're on the right track. Um, but yeah, and it's great to see them people. Them type of people come in, because then you got a real one, a real person you can talk to. I'm not saying everybody else is not real. I'm just saying that they're on a different level, so they would be an NPC. They may not be an NPC on the level they're on. They will have NPCs, right? So it could be something similar to that, right? So I'm sure we are NPCs to, a higher up people above us. I was watching a TikTok complication. One video was a video game character that kept asking for help getting out and going home. Video was a video game character that that would be weird, wouldn't it? We are now best serving them by leading good lives best we can, and remind them when they ask how we do it. Then will I credit Jesus for all I have. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I do. I think I say that a lot. You know what? I didn't make any coffee. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Well, I think we're at, I'm not sure how long we may go tonight, but I am trying to post a link if anybody would want to come in and let us know how you're doing. And so there's the link. I'm sure I'm forgetting a ton more shit that's been going on. That fucking train. Can you help me? I don't know where I am or how I got here. I want to go home. Yeah, no, I can agree with that character. What game did you say that was? Oh, it's a TikTok complication of a video game. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I was thinking this is November, right? November. Damn it. I always forget to write shit down. I was looking for something, but I didn't write it down. How's my neuropathy been? Is way underrated. I've got it too. It's like walking around with heating pods wrapped around my feet. Yeah, well, both of my feet feel like frozen blocks. Like they're just like I have no feeling in my feet, except for the nerves. The nerves hurt a lot. I'm still looking for stuff for pain for that. I've been off the pain pills and shit for quite a while now. So, I thought I was bringing that. There you are, Cammy. How you doing?
I'm okay, surviving all of the weirdness that is planet Earth.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Um,
fun all the way around. I'm so glad my tooth is dead, or that would have hurt like no tomorrow.
oh yeah,
It's
you're
like
telling me
right
about
here. Every
that.
time I smile now, everybody can see it. It's great. I'm like, yay.
Oh yeah, shit, I almost forgot. Everybody, without putting any names out there, let's please pray for one of our one of our friends that comes here. Not every time, not every time, but she's well known, and she's been having a bit of a problem lately. So let's pray for her that she can get over these demons that she's fighting right now.
Everybody is under attack from all angles.
Yeah, and
things go down since the last time I talked to you. I don't even know where to begin. We can start.
I've tried my best to pull her. Yeah, I've tried my best to help pull her in, but she got to the point where she was calling me 19 times in, I don't know, less in about an 8-hour period, maybe. It got to be quite a bit, and I had to back away from it. And but I do love her, and I wish the best for her, and I hope everything's okay with her. So I feel bad, but yeah, so I just wanted to get it out there that she just put a prayer out to all of our subs, people that come here all the time. I hate calling you guys subs. Friends, our family, we all know each other.
Community member.
Yeah, there you go. Community member. Family member. I like it better that way because you guys all are like an extended part of my family. And I got to meet a lot of you this summer, so that was pretty fun. No, I know. You'll have to be. Can I even get over there right at this point?
Do you have a passport?
No.
So you have a passport?
Do I actually need a passport to get into Canada?
You do after stupid 9/11 and COVID.
Oh, wow.
It's so stupid. We're getting so stupefied up here. It's not funny. Like, we can't wait for the people in power to be removed. Let's put it that way. He's driving around with so much security, though. I mean, he gets booed everywhere he goes. He knows he's not popular. So he's just taking out as much of Canada as he can before he goes, pretty much. Yay. Sounds like a familiar playbook, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can you move your toes? Mine are numb. I can't move them. Yeah, I have. I can move them a little bit. Not much, but I can move the. I can move them a little bit. I'll tell you though, I've been wearing them socks, them compression socks, a lot. And my feet, it's been, I don't know how long it's been since I've actually been able to see the bones in my feet. And now I can see the bones in my feet. So that's telling me that the swelling has drastically gone down.
Yes.
I even, for the first time, seen my ankle in a long time. I haven't been able to see my ankle. Huh?
Said, ooh, that's got ankles.
Yeah, right. So them bracelets, even though I still have no feeling in my feet, um, the socks have helped a great deal, and I go days without taking them off. A couple days, and the only time I'll take them off is to take a shower, and then they go right back on. So yeah, that's been helping. But I do deal with a lot of pain still, so and not being able to take like oxycodone or morphine or anything like that. I'm still taking the fucking gabapentin, and I don't know which is worse, the gabapentin or the oxycodones and shit, because the gabapentin fucks with my eyes a lot. I'm sure it does a lot of other shit too. I can't find any natural healing shit. I've tried a lot of shit, but I can't find anything that controls the pain. I guess one would say you're always going to have the pain. You just got to learn how to deal with it. Yes. I know they all mean well.
Yes, but and no. Would be better if they could figure out a way to remedy the situation so it becomes less pain. So it'd be tolerable. Yeah, be better.
Tolerable would be, yeah, right. Melanie, welcome.
And I honestly think it's just they haven't sent you to the right thingy to get the right thing, because you're saying it's your nerves. You can actually go and have your nerves altered by certain people. Most of the physical doctors do not like jumping to different doctoral professions, so it's like really hard to get a doctor to promote anything in the chiropractor or acupuncture or any of the other alternative ways, because it's not getting them a prescription, and it's not, so they won't necessarily tell you there's other things you can do.
Yeah.
But in your system where you have to pay for every time you go and consult a doctor, it gets really expensive to try and find the right one, because you have to sort of trial it.
And I have no trust left in doctors.
No, well, I don't. The normal doctors I wouldn't either, but what I'd do is I'd go to like a very old school style doctor, one that would have remedies that aren't necessarily prescriptions, or things where they actually talk about cures and not just treatments.
Yeah, no, I know on that, but that gets very expensive, as you know. On
that is probably healthcare is like the biggest number one thing everybody complains about down there for cost wise, because you guys are getting gouged through like the nose. Even here in Canada, we are somewhat for some of our stuff compared to just the rest of the world, where they actually had people who cared when they dealt with the pharmaceutical companies. So I'll give you an example. You guys have an EpiPen. Down there, you can get 2 for around $300. You can buy 2 for $80 in Canada, and most of the rest of the world, it's around $18 to $20. And that's the conversion rate. So we're getting screwed in North America. Let's put it that way. And Canada, not quite as bad as you guys for that, but that's, I think, because we're getting some of it subsidized by the government. So I think it still costs that much, but the government covers most of it. And so we're stuck with dollars of it. But that's still high compared to the world.
Have a good night, Joe. Love you, bro.
But at least here, you can actually walk into, or at least get referred to, all of those alternative treatment centers. And I think the government covers 10 or 12 treatments for free. And if you need that, you start paying. But they're reasonable. Like, you go to one here for $25.
Before Joe takes off, I wanted to thank Joel for putting me up for a while. I think I stayed at his house for almost a week, or maybe a week. I stayed at Joe's, and thank you very much, Joel. It was great. He's got a beautiful place. He's got a great mom and a great son. His mom made us dinner, I think, damn near every night. But I appreciate it. And also, Annette put me up for a little bit this summer. Thanks, Annette. All right, go ahead, Cammy.
Oh, I don't even know what I was talking about now. I'm going to my
I tend to do that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
there.
the new thing. I got new building owners or managers or whatever. They're just as shady and crappy as all the other ones. They're kind of a combination of the two other ones that I had. Greedy as all heck still, but probably aren't going to do nearly as many renovations. So, you know.
Night, Melanie. Have a great night. Sleep well. Have some beautiful dreams.
As on the news.
What?
I had a news reporter come into my work and wanted to know if I would make a comment or a statement about the rental situation in my town. And so I gave them an honest opinion on the rental situation in my town. And they asked me a whole bunch of questions, used almost none of it, but I made sure it didn't matter which clip they took. It was
I was going to say, did they even use any of it?
Oh, yeah. Well, they couldn't help but use some of it, and I made sure no matter which clip they used, I was pointing the truth out about the problem. Everybody keeps coming in, you're a celebrity. I liked what you said. I'm like, well, I'll be honest. You ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the honest answer. And rental situation is not good in this town, so I let them know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure privately they're hearing it a lot, but obviously they ain't gonna let that get out. That it's, come move to our town. We have a beautiful town. Rent, great schools. Rent is very low.
Rent is definitely not low. They're trying to bring it up to Vancouver status, which Vancouver is probably as expensive as New York. So that's what they're trying to do to us. So people are going nuts. There's so many homeless right now. It's not funny.
Yeah. I definitely seen a lot. And I still see a lot of the same.
Go for it.
If I go to Walmart, I'm still seeing a lot of the same vehicles that I've seen.
And it'll just be more and more, and it's scary because for every $100 that rent goes up, another 9% of the population becomes homeless.
Wow.
And rents here have doubled. So you can imagine how many percentage of homeless people that created.
Yeah, I drove through Walmart, and it's like, I feel bad. It's like I'm thinking, I've got a place, and it's just a room, but I wish I could go and bring everybody. Hey, come have a good night's sleep here on the. You have to sleep on the floor, but I can't do that.
But the problem is you can't do that. You cannot trust them as much as you want to love them. Like the Bible says, love them all, trust none of them. All of them are going to fail you. Because we're all imperfect. Yeah. That's just how it is. So you have to love them knowing you can't trust them. So stupid. We'll be able to trust soon as soon as we get to the other side. It's just here while we're in this interior, whatever it is.
I've not heard that Bible verse before, but I trust that you're right on it.
I've been trying to get into the Bible a little bit more regularly.
Yeah. Oh God, I talk to God all the time,
Oh, I talk
and
to him
it's
all the time,
more.
but I mean read the
It's
Bible, not because I think I need it memorized, but because
right.
it helps re-energize you just by
Yeah,
hearing the word.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I listen. I don't read the Bible, but I get a lot of verses through reading
Audio,
of the Bible
yeah,
audio.
audio clips.
Yeah.
You want to know what
Uh,
I've been doing lately? And it's tedious, but it's interesting. Have the audio version, get whatever Bible you have them read the audio version as you read along and see what's changed and how they change what they're saying versus what's written in the Bible. It's not a whole lot, but
yeah.
there are clips and pieces.
I've actually caught that a couple of times because there's been a couple
There's,
of verses
yeah,
where
there's a few
they've
times
talked about,
where they're
and
switching it and you
it
should really take
says
what's on the book.
I already know it when I don't know it, but I feel like that's not right how they're saying it.
Yeah.
So I will stop and I will look it up myself, and it will be a
I just
totally
follow
different,
along as they're going so
not
I don't have to stop and look it up. I can
not
just really
totally
do that.
different, but a word off here or there. Yeah.
And I have two Bibles that I
Uh,
have to do this with because I've got two different kinds. So I have to see what one says and what the other one says. And so I'm just going through it with one, and then I'm going to do the same thing and start again and go through it with the other just to see what's different for each one.
Blake says I just paid $12 for bacon, which if you're buying it by the
Oh
pound,
my God.
that's about right. We pay a little bit more here, about 14 or
You guys are
15,
paying way too
but
much for bacon.
milk is 5.85. Holy shit. It's about $3 or 3.50 a gallon here or something like that. A gallon. It's
I
ridiculous.
thought
I
our
live
bacon
in
was
a
bad because
small
it was
town
getting
in
darn near
Texas
close
and people
to
are hurting.
$9
Let's see
per
this.
pound of the bacon. But I get mine for like 4.
Yeah.
I pay 4.
Oh wow.
So I'm
Yeah,
having
it's
bacon
expensive.
cheeseburgers tonight. But I also get steaks for like $3, $4, $5, depending on the cut of steak.
Holy crap! I just happened to look at
Only at my
a
work.
package of beef stew, beef meat or meat that goes into the stew. Now that meat doesn't have to be a fine cut meat, right? And just for a packet of it, it might have been 2 pounds, maybe. It was almost $17.
Can I tell you a secret?
Huh?
Grab any cut of steak that is on sale that is cheap that you want to buy and cube it, and that is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
When you buy the lean ones, you have to usually ask for fat. But here's another secret almost nobody knows. You buy a lean steak, you can just ask the butcher for some fat scraps. Those are free.
Uh huh.
That's where you get your flavor for
Okay.
your lean steaks. But
Yeah.
the fatty steaks will cost you a pretty penny usually because they leave the fat in and they're a better cut meat. And so they're usually expensive for marbled. But
It
you
depends
just
on
get
what kind of hamburger, Blake. If it's Angus per pound, I want to say about $7 or $8 a pound. If it's just a regular hamburger that's got a ton of fat in it, then you're talking maybe almost $5 a pound. It's about $5.50 a pound here for regular
and our
ground
meat is
beef.
going up
Okay,
too. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's about the same here. Yeah.
it's harder and harder to get a good deal. But I had a couple of roasts recently.
Any
I got
kind of
them for
meat, I've noticed any
$9.
kind of meat, even fish and all that, everything's going up drastically in price.
Oh, they're
I
making
looked at
years.
just some smoked salmon, just for a little piece of that fucking. I mean, not even. It wasn't even a pound, not even close to a pound. I don't even remember how many ounces, but it was like $22.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
If you ever make it here, Pat, I will take you over to the Indian Reserve. And for $22, they'll probably sell you an entire huge salmon if you wanted, but you could get smoked salmon, you could get whatever you want. And like they'll ask you what kind of smoked salmon you're going to want, because do you want candied smoked salmon? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want applewood smoked? Do you want cherrywood smoked? They do it all.
That's cool. Yeah, I love smoked salmon.
And they do the best smoked salmon. You can buy it in the grocery stores here. I do not eat that kind of smoked salmon because it's inferior. They don't smoke it enough. They do the bare minimum. And they usually will use the farmed salmon. And when you go buy off the reserve, they went and caught the salmon, smoked the salmon. Like, you can ask any question you want about that, and you'll find out exactly how old it was, how big the fish was. You can do whatever because that's the person who caught it.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper for stuff like that. But only at my work. Everywhere else, very expensive. And it's getting more expensive at my work as we have to deal with shopping at some of the other stores. So some things are rolling up, but there's a lot of cheap things. Like my $4 bacon. We just don't mark up the meats as much. So as much as they're costing more, we're probably only making a 25% markup on it instead of this usual doubling of the price. Because most stores want at least double the price, if not more. And for a lot of the stuff in our store, we don't double the price. There's some things that we have to because we buy it full price and people have requested that particular product and whatnot. And then there's the shit we bring in. So I never know what I'm eating, but I always eat good. There's always something on sale. Like we're clearing out all beef smokies. I don't know if you know the product Grimm's, but they do all of the extra things so that it's lactose free and gluten free and all those buzzwords they like to use, right? And it's very expensive. And my work's clearing out the packs of smokies for like $3 a pack. Now, they're not as well dated as the ones at the big box stores that might have 6 weeks before they're going to go bad. These ones are 10 days before they're due, but what you do is you buy them, you throw them in your freezer. And you just don't leave them sitting loose in the fridge. You eat them frozen to pan and eat it that day, and it's fine because it's got 10 days to go. And you just do it pre-freeze it. And they bring in as much stuff as they can like that. Like we're clearing out like specialty cheeses. They've got port wine cheese and a sage cheese and cranberry and apricot and blueberry cheeses. And they're all going for
I like port wine.
What's mixed in cheese?
So is the port wine in that little round tub?
No, it's a port wine cheese.
Yeah. So that comes in like a little tub?
It comes in a giant round, and we buck it up into littler pieces so everybody doesn't have to shell out like several $100s for a round of cheese.
Oh, okay.
And we just cut it up into smaller, more manageable bits, and then we don't price it with a big markup on it. And then we clear out a lot of it, so we make more money because we're just selling out really fast and then bringing in another product and selling out really fast and bringing in another product, and like trucks show up 6 days a week at our store. But we never know.
Hey, Singe Man, welcome. Singe Man says, I'm high. That's what I need to do, maybe. Maybe that'll help me feel good.
So it kind of sucks because like I'm torn because if I have to move from here, I have to move right out of town. And as much as I'll save a ton of money on rent, I'll lose that money in groceries. Because everywhere else, it's pretty much the way you guys are, and worse for the most part. Like, you guys would shit your pants. A jug of milk at my store for what you guys are calling a gallon is $9.28.
I just shit my pants.
I don't know how parents are doing it. I do not buy it. I will go to the other store. I can get it.
$9. Did you just say $9 for a gallon?
But yeah, my work has to sell it for $9 because the company that we buy milk from, we don't buy it in a large enough quantity for them to give us the good deal like they do the big stores. So we have to pay almost full price for it. So we're only making a little bit of money on it, but it's still $9, and it's like, what the heck? And I asked my boss the other day, and we're paying more for our jugs of milk than the other stores are selling it for because they're getting that much of a better deal. But we don't have the ability to store large quantities of milk.
Where did my picture go? How come I've got no photo?
You went away. Huh? You got scared by my gap tooth and you went away.
No, I'm wondering how come I have no picture up there.
Because it went away. You ran away.
Excuse me. I'm trying to figure out how to get a photo up there. So when I do run out real quick here.
You're running out.
To go smoke. Private chat, stream settings. Maybe it's under settings and then it could be under camera. Is it under camera? Nope.
The only way I ever knew to switch pictures was to actually leave and set it up and then come back in. But it's changed how I come in since the last time I was on, so I don't know anything about it anymore.
Well, and supposedly I'm supposed to be able to adjust like comments, like a comment. I could pin a comment somewhere. I don't know how to do all that shit.
It's in one of the
I almost forgot how to go live before this started. It had me re-sign in.
It made me go through the thingy, and then it asked me twice if I wanted to be on this account, and I'm like, didn't it work? Like, is it working? And I clicked it again and it went through. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it had me re-sign in, and I thought, oh fuck, I'm not going to remember my password. And luckily, Google saved.
Because it's smart.
Yeah, that's what it did, and then at first it was going to deny me, and I looked at the camera like what? Deny me? Why would you deny me? And then all of a sudden it must have read my eyes, and it was like, "Pooh, you're okay." I'm like, whoa, what was that? Because it was like a quick flash, and then all of a sudden it was okay for me to go. I didn't even give my password. I didn't remember
probably, it. We're checking you out and going, is this who we think it is? Okay, okay, let them through. It's all AI now, let's face it. They're already talking digital currency here, too. That's back on the talk. It's going to be for anybody under poverty level to bring them up to making at least the high end of poverty. Pretty much.
I see. So everybody's supposed to have crypto? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I have no idea. Is that what they're going to push it with the digital ID? Because remember, our tyrant has sent a letter to all the provinces' health boards and said, you have to push the digital ID or we're going to yank funding for your health care. Because that's apparently something the federal government thinks they can do. And I'm like, we can't get you out fast enough. You're acting like a dictator so bad. So bad.
Yeah.
And then trashing our name. Like, they've got India so pissed off at us that they've yanked our consulates privileges. They're not special protected there anymore, so they better get their asses out. And all the visas going into India from Canada, so nobody here that lives here who has relatives over there or visits over there regularly can go. They have to all reapply for this special citizenship visa from them. And he's poked the bear really bad with them. And he's taking everything out. It's so bad. He's put us in so far in debt. We were not that bad off. And then he keeps using, we're the least in debt country out of the G7. And I'm like, you're the smallest country in the G7. If you're anything but that, there would be a question. But that doesn't mean you haven't raised it. He's using buzz phrases to, and I'm like, oh, this is so bad. You're pissing so many people off. He's tried splitting the country by telling half the country they didn't have to pay the carbon tax for 3 years. Well, the rest of the country have to. And they didn't fall for it, and they asked
Right.
him to give it to all of Canada or none of Canada because they didn't want the division. And I'm like, thank you for not being that stupid, people.
Hmm.
But like,
Yeah,
he's trying
right.
everything to just trash the country, and I'm just like, because everybody's spitting out about it. Everywhere you go, that's all they want to talk about. And I keep telling them that it's all gonna play out. And like, he just has to do all this for everybody to wake up and realize that he's not the one. And like, welcome to how the politicians are stirring the pot. Everybody everywhere is all up in arms, and ain't nobody happy in any country they're living in right now, and they're all spitting out, and it's just how they're trying to play the whole world. So calm down because they want you upset. You need to be calm because something's going to happen that you're going to need your wits about you, and they're hoping you're not going to have them. So have your wits about you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not quite sure who this is that I'm bringing in.
No,
Brother Patrick. Brother Patrick, it's good to hear from you again, man.
How you doing?
Not too bad. You may
So
not
what's-
remember.
No, I'm trying to remember. I do not remember.
Man, it's been months and months. How you doing, Cammy? It's just been.
Can you hear him, Cammy?
I've been. You know what I mean? I've been.
Yes, I just had to mute myself for a sec because I was coming inside. Thomas, don't you dare. And I had the volume on my TV with you on inside, and I didn't want that feedback loop to happen. So I muted myself.
Oh,
I have to eat.
okay. So go ahead, Tom.
Watch me assemble a cheeseburger.
I just wanted to say, brother, that I'm happy to hear from you again. It's been like a couple months since your last stream.
Yeah, it has. It's I've been so beat up. I just not had the time to get on.
Right.
So I got a break this week, and I got like 5 days off. So I'm feeling better. So I thought, man, now is a good time to reach out to everybody because it's I've been missing everybody. So
Right.
So it's good to hear from you.
Absolutely, brother.
So what have you been up to?
I've just been following everything everybody's been saying. It's been wild lately. I don't know if you've been tuning in, but just a bunch of trouble.
I've been away from YouTube for I check in here and there, but yeah, I really don't know if there's anything going on YouTube. I really don't know about it. And the news, I have no idea. Besides what people talk about in the bar.
The trolls have moved in, and they're feeling more emboldened than ever. You know what I mean? And it's a bad mistake because our God's getting ready to move, Patrick. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely. I can feel it.
I do too, man. I'm just happy to hear from you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, I definitely feel like we are like absolutely up on the horizon. I can feel I can start to see him. I feel like it. I feel like I can start to see him. He's coming.
Yeah. They're about to get their ass shut down because everything they don't have any cause. It's just a bunch of following after the world, and they jump on bandwagons and saying they're fighting for crusades and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the most selfish little self-centered little trolls. They've been coming at me, and it's they're not going to win. That's all I know to tell them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they can laugh and have all their glory right now, but it's a very short-lived glory because we will have the everlasting glory.
We're standing on the Beatitudes of what Christ taught us. You know what I mean? Blessed are the merciful; they will receive mercy. These people have no mercy, man.
Right, absolutely not.
It's
Right.
just their culture. I mean, it's so bizarre. So many shades of gray with them. You know what I mean? Everybody says John Thomas. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Everybody says John Thomas. You live in a black and white. You know what I mean? It's all black and white with you. That's because I try to stand on the law and what Christ taught me, and then it's all gray with them. You know what I mean?
The closest that they can come to truth here is they think Trump is their truth. And I get that everywhere, even on the left side, where I got this guy who comes in all the time, and I love this guy. He's awesome to talk to. If you don't talk politics, you're fine. But once politics, you absolutely can see exactly who he is by how he talks about how Biden is doing such a great job, and the insurrection was this big ordeal. It was almost like a world war to this guy. That these people tried to take over and steal the election and all that. And I'm like, dude, it was the other way around. But you can't tell these people that. And just a little bit of me trying to throw a little truth out there. He turned into this different creature that I didn't even like. What the fuck? And you can see exactly when you test them, when you throw truth into their face, you will see exactly who they are. They can't handle any truth.
And what's the difference between them? I mean, Trump gave Fauci the presidential commendation. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
their God here is what I'm saying. Their God here is Trump.
I mean, those people that love Biden should love Trump. He gave Fauci the presidential commendation. They're so delusional as to thinking they picked the right side, but they don't stand on the rock. You know what I mean? And it's just like Christ.
Right. Yeah.
When the flood comes, their house is going to get beaten down because they're not on the rock. You know what I mean? Blessed are the meek; they'll inherit the earth. You take a meek character today, and he's despised.
And I could absolutely see how Christ on the cross, as he's being jabbed and cut in the stomach, and he says they do not know what they do. I can see that right now, absolutely, because this guy is a very nice guy. He's very lovable. He stands on his word, but he doesn't know Christ nor the truth. He denies the truth. He thinks he knows the truth. And it's so sad to see that. So close, but so far.
It's everywhere, man. I got
like Nicodemus.
Yep.
So close, but so far away.
They don't want to meet him out in the open, and they want to meet him at night, where the world can't judge them for having been associated with the light. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what Nicodemus did.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And because that causes persecution. If you openly espouse the things that Christ taught us, blessed are the poor. You know what I mean? That's a joke to them. You know what I mean? Blessed are the peacemakers, they'll be called the Son of God. That's the roadmap.
I've been morally battling with the job that I got right now. And I keep asking God, why am I here? Why am I here? Did I choose this? And I keep getting back because I'm supposed to be here. And I'm like, what do I have to gain by being here? And I just keep hearing, hang in there, because there's somebody I'm supposed to meet. And
You done met him, Patrick. That's what he taught us. You know what I mean? We suffer to come unto him. And that sounds weird, but to the world, because they want to be happy and well, and you know what I mean? But
yeah,
God is more acquainted with suffering. That's the real
right.
truth. And there's not a thing that we've not gone through that he didn't feel with us. So if anybody knows about suffering, it's God. And when they come at us, that makes us more like him. That's why he said, blessed are you when they persecute you for his name's sake, because you're becoming conformed to his image. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I got a friend that I just met, and he turned away from Rosicrucianists and occultism, and all his friends have turned on him. Man, it's bad, and they come at me too. And
wow,
they told me, I want you to go talk to him. You know what I mean? He's a man of God. And then I talked to him. Next thing you know, they're on his case. You know what I mean? That's the way the world does it. They only think they have friends, but really they're biased. You know what I mean? I mean, I hate to use bad words on your stream, but you know what I mean? It's the world is you know, they're a bunch of damn cocksuckers, man. It's so bad. The only way that they're your friend is if you're stumping for them. They don't care about right or wrong. I mean, it's so ugly. I mean, this just happened like today. They all turned on him. You know what I mean? Because he turned to Christ and moved away from that stuff. And they're all worried for him. And it's just, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to name drop or nothing, but this shit's really happening. And it's inspiring, really. And I look at it and I say, wow, you know what I mean? This is what it looks like. You know, when someone tries to stand on the rock, and the floodwaters, they'll rise against you, but your house will still stand. And I didn't have nothing to do with this. I did not have nothing to do with this. They came at me and was just, you know, told me to go kill myself, all this other stuff. And I kept on trying to be their friend. They said, well, we want you to go talk to our brother, but he's a man of God. I talked to him. They don't like that either. You know what I mean? They're just a bunch of trolls, man.
You're talking about other YouTube streams?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
And
okay.
He's really obscure. But these trolls are real.
Yeah.
And they're a bunch of atheists. I feel bad for him.
Yeah,
man.
I haven't been around in a while as far as I don't know like what streams you're listening to. I know I will tell you for myself, I have seen a lot of streams who say they're for Christ, but I have my doubts because of some of the stuff that they do. And and they don't see what they're doing as a problem.
I look at persecution. You know what I mean? If they stand in the face of that persecution, they've taken the first step in my mind. You know what I mean? Because they won't come away from and come on back to that crowd that wants them to follow that darkness. I mean, maybe they have
right.
But as soon as they come at them, man, they just come like unrelentless.
Yeah, and I mean, I have been attacked a lot lately, and
don't pay it no mind, man. We're about to win.
It's a battle. No, I know. That's why I keep fighting forward. You know, there ain't no giving up in me, and there ain't no not following Christ, because that is the only way to go. You know, so that's how I feel. And everybody else, you all have free will to do whatever you want.
Yeah. And as soon as you stand on his principles, that's when you're attacked. And that's when you know the wheat from the chaff. You know what I mean? He said, "Blessed are those who mourn; they'll be comforted." Well, these trolls, they don't mourn about nothing. You know what I mean? It's all a joke to them.
Right.
I mean, it can be so disgusting, and they're over there laughing their ass off. And whereas Christ's disciples will see that and say, "Man, you're making me depressed. You're making me mourn all this." You know what I mean? It's sad that you don't see it. They're the ones that are going to be comforted. It's not going to be these damn trolls that think everything's a joke. It's meaningless to them. You know, that they're be the ones. Their house is going to be built on the sand.
Right. And I got to say, we also have to watch ourselves every day too, because there's times where I've caught myself getting fucked up with not drunk or anything, but because I don't drink, but messed up with going downhill. As a whole barroom goes down, I'm going down with it, and I have to think about where I am and what I'm doing and pull myself away from it. So we're constantly in this battle of having to decipher from. I mean, we all know what is right and what is wrong, but we have to catch ourselves in before we fall in too far, right? That's what I'm saying, is that by no means are we perfect, or am I perfect. I can fall just as well as the next guy, but I will say I am so protected right now with the blood of Jesus Christ.
I feel it, brother.
God, if you think about it this way, God literally died for you, for me. God died for us. That is amazing when you think of the Creator giving up his life for us. And I'm talking Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Gave up his life for us.
And if it don't mean nothing to them what Jesus did, well, then they're not one of them. You know what I mean? They don't mourn. They're not going to be the ones that are comforted. You know what I mean? He did that because the world was in a sad shape. But to them, it's funny. You know what I mean? It don't mean nothing to them. And I feel so bad for this new generation coming out. Because you know what I mean? They didn't write their own cartoons. They didn't put in their own subliminal messages. They didn't make all this trash that they've been watching themselves. And if they turn from it and say, look, there was an agenda, you know what I mean, to turn me dark and nihilist. I had these people coming at me telling me they're nihilists, you know what I mean? But I need to go kill myself because of their morals. Well, if you're a nihilist, you don't care about nothing. Well, I mean, it don't matter. It's meaningless. Well, Christ's disciples can't be nihilists. It means something to us. You know what I mean? That he was up on the cross. That's how much it meant to him to get you to listen. He would sit there and suffocate up on a cross for crimes he didn't commit to get you to listen to the things that he said. But to them, that don't mean nothing. That's a loser in their book. And it's so sad they're going that other way. And it's getting. I don't want to even pronounce it. That there ain't no reaching them because I'm not going to give up. But I mean, it looks like what he said. I mean, work while there's daylight because the night is coming where no man can doing it. It feels like we're in it. Like the sun is set on us, and we're fighting and fighting it. They're trying to wear out the saints, and I mean, we can't give in, but you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I never thought back in the day that I would be fighting so hard for this side. Not that I would be fighting for the other side, but I never thought it would come to this, to where I needed Jesus. Back then, I was so buffaloed that I didn't think I needed Christ either. And it took a miracle in 2016, and I've told everybody this story many times about my kidney failure and everything. That's when Christ found me, and it's been a building. What's that?
Through the suffering, and that's being conformed to His image. That's what He's acquainted.
Right. Yeah. And so I've been building a relationship with Him ever since, and I really do want to walk in His footprints, but they are very hard to do. But the easiest part of it all you have to do is repent and know that He gave His life up for us, for our sins. So, and that's the easy part. Then you get to learn all about Him, and a lot of people think He's a bad guy, and really he's not. He is showing so much love and compassion for us that if I was God, I would have gave up a long time ago. Exactly. I would have been, these guys are never going to get it.
And the Hebrew word for forgiveness means to carry.
Yeah, right.
And so God's always carrying, just like the cross. You know what I mean? Like you said, under that weight, you would have done give up.
Mm-hmm.
But He keeps on trying to, you know what I mean? Carry it all the way.
Yeah, right. And there's bits and parts of us that make it through, not big clumps, and it's just a little bit at a time, but he does keep carrying it, and in hopes he doesn't give up on y'all that easy.
He'll never.
And although he should, I believe he should have gave up on me a long time ago, I felt like, but he hasn't, and he won't give up on you. He won't.
Exactly.
So
man. He's got all the time in the world. There's nothing else for him to do except work on us, and it's so sad.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this generation, man, they don't get it. Like you said, the easy part, is the repenting, but that's because of the suffering. You know what I mean? I hated that it's that way, but until something, God, I wish it wasn't like that. That, you know what I mean? That something gets wrecked in their world. I wish we could just say, you know what? It's beautiful what He did. And I'm not down for any of these agendas that they're doing. You know what I mean? I don't believe in them. I don't believe that they're the hands of God. I don't believe that any of this stuff has to happen. I believe that we could just be just like Nineveh and repent. But they got a different ideology. They think that they have to make it happen. That they're the emissaries, of Christ, and they're not, man. They are not. And He's going to tell them, "You depart from me, you workers of lawlessness." I mean, he told us this, but this generation, man, that's upon us now. I mean, and they're part of the ones that's been coming at me lately, and others. They're relentless because you know what I mean. They're young. They're not acquainted with that suffering, and I mean, I do not wish it upon them. You know what I mean? To try to get up out of bed and everything hurts. No hope as to how I'm going to fit in ever again or have a normal life.
You know,
I'm not supposed to get out of bed for that.
I was just commenting on what Brother Patrick was saying earlier.
I was making a comment.
You know, when I
not get out of bed when that happens, because I just get out of bed anyway.
When I think back on this summer, how I got through that summer, how I got through it, period, is beyond me. And I always have to thank Jesus Christ, because honestly, there's no other way I would have gotten through living in my car that fucking long. Although I had some breaks here and there, like at Annette's and at Joe Dirt's for a few days here and there. That was, for me and my health, that was fucking amazing. So I know right there that he had me and planted me right here for a reason. And so I just go with the flow, wherever it takes me, wherever he takes me. I open my whole life up to him, so I literally given Jesus the wheel. Like the old song goes, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. I know I'm not that great of a singer. Not that great. You suck totally.
No, but I totally
know.
Mentally get that, because I've actually done that on numerous occasions myself. I just remind him that I absolutely give him full control over my life to lead me wherever it is I need to be. I give him permission to take charge. You're not usurping my free will, because I freely give it for you to control.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
To do that, because I'm guaranteeing he's got a better overall outlook and game plan on my life than I can tell from this view. So I'd rather him have control anyway.
Jim says stop. Jeez, I didn't think you were listening anymore. I thought you went to bed. I'm giving him nightmares from my singing. All the gold in California. Yeah, that's boy, that's what this, they got this new thing now. Okay, it may not be new, but I'm sitting in the bar, right, and all of a sudden the jukebox starts playing, and I'm like, what in the fuck? I didn't even see anybody walk over there, So the music stopped, and it played one song and it stopped. And about 20 minutes later, not even 15 minutes later, it started playing another song. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And I looked over at this guy at the bar. He's on his phone, and he's a regular. And I said, hey, do you hear the fucking jukebox going off every once in a while? And he starts laughing. He goes, what? I said, yeah, the jukebox, it's been playing songs just going off. And he's like, I'm the one playing them, you idiot. I'm like, what? How the fuck are you doing it? And he goes, from my app. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? I cannot get used to the technology.
We're so much worse than everybody even fears with where it's at currently. Like, I've just been following a lot of stuff, and they need to slow down like immensely. We're already too late, though.
That tells you how long it's been since I've been in a bar, right? start playing music from. I mean, he can operate the jukebox from his phone. Well, I'm like, what the fuck? That's incredible.
Probably been longer for me. My son sent me a picture of the local bar down here, and I'm like, oh, that's what it looks like in there, because I've never been in there. I've only ever been in a couple of them back in my 20s, and I'm like almost 50.
I want to go back to the 70s, man. That's when I want to live. You know what I mean? Nobody can do that stuff with the phone.
I'll tell you, I've been dreaming about living back in the 1800s. You know, like mid to end of the 1800s, where they're still riding horse and they still carry a gun, and you know, just freedom to buy up a little land for a little bit of money, and back when it was free.
I had an experience when I was like 10. My mother had taken me, we were poor, and my best friend to see Batman. And it was the one with the penguin. And this was the first time, you know, everybody was tell you, you know, you're crazy and stuff. But this was the first time I actually like heard a voice. And I was looking at the Gotham City and all that. And I was thinking, man, it's so, you know, great. And I wanted to be there, but then I got sad all of a sudden. I was thinking, you know, it's not real. You know, it's just a movie. And then I heard a voice inside of me. It wasn't like I heard it with my ears, but I know I didn't say it. You know what I mean? And it said, I can do that. And I know people laugh, but when I heard that voice, that screen became like a window. I mean, I literally seen like a window. It wasn't a screen no more. And I knew what God was telling me, that he had complete control of my mind. You know what I mean? I can do any of that, just like reading Rainbow. You know what I mean? I can go anywhere with God's power. I believe we're living inside of his head. I think that we're a part of his imagination, and that explains, you know, the Mandela effect, all of it. That we're just like voices running around inside his head, and what we thought could be, you know, never, you know, all things are possible with God somehow. And anything I can imagine, he can do that. I could, you know, I mean, that's
another thing that's been coming out in the forefront for me, just what you said.
It changed my
whatever I think of comes in my reality somehow, some way. Like, if I want somebody to call me, I'll think of that person and they'll call me within a few hours or so. Or if I want something or whatever, I never ask for anything real huge, you know. But things,
he can do it all.
Just thinking of somebody that I haven't seen or heard from in a long time, they will somehow come to my forefront within a day. And I've been noticing that
we're gaining control as his disciples over this realm, and the world is fighting that because, you know, they know us. I mean, it's the same thing they did to Christ. They said, you know, we know where he's from. Isn't this the carpenter's son and all this and that? So they got offended because, well, we know where he's from. Well, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? That they know where Patrick or Cammie or John Thomas is from. If God decides that we're, you know what I mean, meant for the stars, there ain't nothing they can do about it. And all things.
Right. Just like they can't do anything. They can't harm us. No weapon shall be formed against us. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Formed against you shall prosper. They can form
weapons. That's what I
mean. So it looks scary, but that's why you have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil, because they can't actually take away any part of you that's valuable. They can come at you and spit at you and go after your ego, and they can even tear apart your body, but they're not going to ever tarnish your soul. They actually very recently have been promoting a video, which you probably haven't seen since you don't go online very much, where they actually were talking about they think they might have captured the soul on camera, because at the moment of conception, when the sperm enters the egg, there is a burst of light that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like the closest they've ever come to being able to prove existence of a soul on camera. Because at that moment, that whole egg and sperm get to become a whole new DNA and a genetic different
That's
feature.
very
The
timely.
moment of when life happens and when the soul enters.
Yeah, it's like a big spark, like the Big Bang.
Yeah, but in micro form. But it's exactly the same because
And Jesus Christ said, "I am."
Yeah.
And you know what I think? He's showing them exactly what he wants them to see. That all our scientific discoveries
prove him.
are illusions. That
Well, they
God,
prove him, and anything that points away from him is made up.
they're being led to their temptation. Remember, Christ taught us to pray, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
He did, but remember when science was first invented, it was actually to prove the existence of God, not to prove the non-existence of God.
But those people are delusional. You know what I mean?
Depends on which ones you're talking about, because there are many scientists who, on their gravestone, of all things, they have Bible verses carved in. So at the end of all of their scientific whatever, what do they believe in but God?
Maybe. Only God can judge our hearts.
Well, the ones who have been lying to us about a round Earth and all that bullshit and being out in space, that's all bullshit. So, them ones are the ones that should be
but those are
brought to justice.
Those are Hollywood people pretending to be scientists.
Those are they're in a cult, and that round Earth lends to an alien invasion religion of the Anunnaki. That's their religion. So they need they need that round Earth shit to say that the God of Moses is some kind of lizard. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
As soon as we realize, hey, hold on, we're in a realm that's unexplainable, how it can even exist, and the only reason we can is we're living in his head. You know what I mean? There's nothing outside of God. And they don't want that. I mean, they do not want that. They want God to be this person inside of what they call a simulation. You know what I mean? They want to turn him into an alien, a King Koopa type, someone that engineered us. And
what it is they want to understand them with their mortal corporeal body and existence, and they're not going to ever be able to, because he is beyond what we can fathom down here.
Damn right.
And they want to put him in a box like they put everybody else.
Exactly. Inside the box. They want to make him a character just like me or
they
you.
Want to be, it's so bad.
Yeah. And keep them in prison like we've been imprisoned for however long we've been in here, you know.
Yep.
But now we're starting to see the light. We're starting to see that spark.
The light. Exactly. Inside of our brain.
That's another thing that's new that's been being passed around is now they're telling everybody to stay away from the light. Don't go near the light because that'll take you whatever. Exactly. You know what?
So many people are pushing it, and the fact that that's being allowed to exist on the internet and not being debunked or taken off or suppressed is questionable. Because if it was truth, you know it wouldn't be allowed to be spread.
Exactly.
Right.
They're pushing that on blast, and let me tell you, that's universal. If you're in a dark place and you see the light, you go towards it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't say, no, I'll stay here in darkness. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Only
I'm gonna go. I definitely feel my heart or my soul will know where to go. So I'm not even threatening it. You know, I'm gonna go where the love is.
They're gonna all do
wherever I feel the love.
They're a bunch of bullshitters.
We're gonna go wherever God sorts us at the end of everything. Just how that works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Hopefully, we get to have some input.
I'm gonna be able to have every. I'm gonna be able to have every animal in the world as my pet, and be able to talk to them and understand them.
It's kind of nice because like I highly recommend it because I'm enjoying having animals love me and listen to me a little bit better, and it's not that I think I'm like one and connected and everything's not going to attack me. Like hell no. Like have a healthy respect and fear of dangerous animals, absolutely. But there are ways to deal with each and every one of them where you don't have to end up dead. With the exception of, I don't think I could talk down a polar bear or anything, but you know, give me time. I might later on, but I'm not horribly terrified of most of the creatures that I probably should be here in Canada, because we have some pretty dangerous animals that are localized here. We have bears, we have cougars, we have wolves that swim in the ocean on this island. They don't do that anywhere else in the world but here. But I'm not terrified to walk through nature and go into the bush, and everybody's like, well, but don't you see animals? And I go, well, I'm sure they see me, but no, they tend to stay away, most of those ones. Like,
we're getting so dark, we make the animals look like they're towards the light. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, what it is they're pure. They're not good or evil. They're instinctual, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm never upset at an animal for doing what they're doing.
Trolls. I'd fear more what one of these trolls want to do to me.
Oh yeah.
A whole pack of wolves.
Wolves are actually quite awesome creatures. Like I was learning a little bit today about them, and like how they structure their pack. Humans could learn so much from them. Like they put, first of all, the elderly and weak members of their group up at the front leading the walk when they go anywhere, with the strongest young members right behind them. And then that way the old ones won't get left behind because they're setting the pace. Then they put the women and children in between that, and then they have all of the strongest adult male dogs at the rear, and then the leader of the pack stays behind that even and watches from afar so he can direct everybody. And they watch over everybody because that way everybody's safe if you're attacked from the front. If anybody's going to die, it's the ones that were going to die
animal
the oldest and whatnot.
About?
And they have all
what
of
animal are you talking about?
These are wolves. This is the average wolf pack. This is how they function.
I like watching water buffalo.
Even they.
I mean, they're herd animals too.
As fierce as they are, and they're like killing machines, have a moral compass to their hierarchy, to how they function. They don't leave their sick ones behind. They set the pace for everybody so that you're not traveling too fast for them. Like, there's so much that they're doing in their community, and they're all just instinctual animals that we as humans are already long since not doing for ours. Like, what do we do with our elderly people?
We've devolved into a lower creature, Cammy. At least the wolves are doing it because they're trying to survive.
Every time I get a customer that comes through that tells me how smart humans are, I remind them that we've gotten dumber over the centuries, and at this point, we're one of the dumbest creatures.
Depends on what human, though.
And they go, "What do you mean?" And I go, "We're the only people on the planet paying for existence." We couldn't tell you why we built the pyramids or how we built the pyramids, and that was only a little while ago, and we can't do that now with all our modern technology. So imagine.
Well, I heard we weren't able to get back to the moon either.
Oh yeah, we're unable to get to the moon, but we're going to go to Mars. This is what gets me is that people fall for this jargon all the time, and it's just so stupid. But it's because we didn't, and there's actual footage that's been released that everybody, of course, doesn't. That's why they had to rush through the release of deep fake technology so that nobody could trust videos being released, because all of it's been released.
We are the angels. You know what I'm saying? We're the fallen ones right now. And just like Paul said, you've entertained angels unawares.
Well, be careful what you're saying, because if you're a fallen angel, they're not going to get to go back, because they sinned with all
the time in the world to reform us.
Yes, but just consider this. I'm just going to tell you what my interpretation of everything that I've read so far is.
Christ said you'll get out when you pay the last penny.
Right, but we're not the angels. The angels were cast down, and they get to stay. That's what hell was actually created for.
We would get out of hell when we pay the last penny.
Right. We follow with them and get redeemed because, and I quote, we sinned not being perfect, so we have a redemption arc, whereas they knew what they were doing when they sinned, so there is no forgiveness for them.
Me too. It's the same thing. I mean, didn't Christ
say
that?
I heard somewhere that hell wasn't built for us. It was built for the angels.
But didn't Christ say you are gods? We're in the image of God.
Right.
Could there be a piece of the puzzle missing that right now we're down here because we've fallen, and the only way to get back there is to do what he said. You know, blessed are the merciful. They'll receive the mercy.
Yes. But what I'm saying is the reason why humans have that privilege is because we were already in a dented pan and we were imperfect creatures. The angels were perfect beings that made a choice to disobey God. So that is why they got cast down. They frolicked with the humans and made Nephilim, and all of them ended up destroyed. God was very upset about that. So no, we are not the angels. We are separate from that.
But remember when David was told, remember when David did the whole thing with Bathsheba and all that, and Nathan came to him, and Nathan told him that parable, and he said, and David pronounced judgment on himself about what should happen to that man. And then Nathan said, "You're that man." And then David tore his clothes. What if right now we're pronouncing judgment on ourselves? And let's just say right now, Cammie's pronounced judgment on the angels, and then God says, "Cammie, you are them." At that point,
here's the thing, though. I'm not pronouncing judgment. I didn't make that judgment. I am understanding what I was reading and interpreting the words verbatim, because I'm not going to alter what is said there.
I'm not either. I'm just saying.
That's the thing, is like, you know,
we are them.
If the angels frolicked with the humans, we couldn't be both angels and the humans being frolicked with at the same time.
I'm saying that we've done this so many times. I'm saying we've recycled ourselves, and that's the reason for the deja vu. And that, you know, I've been John Thomas for a long time. You've been Cammie. Patrick's been Patrick. And the only way to go up to them stars is to do what he says. And if we don't, we're going to do it again.
Which is why I'm repeatedly going over the Bible. Make sure that
God forbid I have to do this again. I am not doing this again. I said that from day one. I am not doing this again.
And
I better not fall short.
And if there's a way made even for fallen angels, damn it, let it be for me too. I mean, I want them to have a way back up there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, you could pray for them.
Right.
I'm them.
But that decision is not up to us. And don't get me wrong, I pray for absolutely
He said
every
the cup
soul
you
that should
pour
be
is the
saved
cup you
and
receive.
go. But
If
I
if the,
also let His will be done.
he said the cup you pour will be the cup you receive, and the cup I pour for them is, damn it, make a way for them, and make
Mhm.
a way for me. Just like Patrick said, I don't want to do this again.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Why you say
I'm
for
with
me?
you. You know what? Everything here is we're not going to we let's put it this way. I am not carrying anybody who did wrong to me. I don't hate them. I don't carry that resentment or that I forget what the word I'm looking for, but
Animosity.
I no like any regards to wanting to hurt them back or wish some ill will towards them because they hurt me, that kind of stuff. I don't carry that with me. I hold grudges. That's what I'm saying, trying to get at. I don't hold grudges and stuff, so that stuff is supposed to fall away because God never holds any of that for us, and we're supposed to be like His image. So when we decide that we want that for us, because we realize that receiving love is a whole lot better than not receiving it, because I was brought up in a life where I was, abused and all that. I didn't get the hugs and all that, all that stuff. Even today, in a little ways, I find it a little gayish if them families were huggy families.
I used to
But
get every day by my grandmother. Every day, basically. Same thing.
yeah, but I wish I had that. But so I don't know what I'm trying to get at is, God forgives us and He will always be there for us. He's like that loving parent that always is a worry wart, and you could do no wrong in that parent's eyes, you know. We all know that type of parent, and this is God. Every one of us, to Him, we could do no wrong. Although He wants us to learn from our lessons, or learn lessons from what we've gone through. And I think we're all connected. We're all definitely connected. I don't think there's as many of us here as real authentic beings at this point. Not saying that the other people aren't real. They're just in a different state of mind. Like here on this, right, wherever we are here, uh, there's only a certain amount of people completely awake, and wherever they are, I'm sure there's only a certain amount of people completely awake where they are. So we just see their versions because they are related to us, or we know them as a friend, or they have to do that walk-in where you don't. You ever notice that faces that you see regenerate themselves in different eras of, it's like you see a face and you're like, I know that face somewhere. Although you've never met them, you've seen that face numerous times through numerous ages of pictures and shit. What you see,
That's
I just
exactly. I've had exactly that. I had that after a near-death experience when I was 5 years old. Where this was 1985. I was coming up on 5 years old actually, and
yeah.
I got ran over by a Cadillac trying to get to the ice cream truck, and anyways, I was playing out in the street again, like after I got out of the hospital and stuff, and a kid was talking to me out in the street, and he said, "Man, I seen the whole thing." He said, You look like you were breakdancing," and he said you were spinning around on your back like a ninja turtle. And this is it. This is so wild to me. This is synchronicity. Brought this up, Patrick.
Yeah.
He said you look like you were breakdancing. He said you were spinning around on your back like a ninja turtle. And when he said that, I knew what he meant by a ninja turtle, and I thought I knew him. I still to this day don't know who that kid was. He was about my same age, but it wasn't until decades later did I realize Ninja Turtles didn't come out on cartoons since in 1987.
Yeah.
That was like 2.5 years. So who was he? You know what I mean?
Right.
People think, John, you're making this shit up, but I'm telling you, kid said you were spinning on your back like a Ninja Turtle. And when he said that, I knew what he was talking about. I knew what a Ninja Turtle
was. That's really weird, because when I was around that time, I was about 19, I want to say 84, 83, somewhere around there. I had a near-death experience where my girlfriend split up with me. So I went and sat in my dad's car with a can of gas and sniffed gas. I skipped school, and I sniffed gas the whole school day. And how I know it was approximately the whole school day is I started when school started, and I was laying on the horn, on my dad's horn, and one of my best friends comes through the alley, and he jumps in the car and he lifts me off the horn, and he gets me to my senses, and he helps me upstairs to my apartment. And so my dad's there. So anyways, I'm now 48 years old, and I'm trying to reach out to this same buddy on Facebook. And I get him, and I'm talking to him, and I told him about that experience. Do you remember that? And he said, no, I never did that. And I'm like, what? How could you forget something like that? And he's like, no, it wasn't me. And I said, yes, it was. I know it was you. And
maybe that was your guardian angel pretending to be him.
And get this.
Get past your dad.
Get this. I go back to that same. We moved away. A year later, we moved away. I went back to visit all my friends when I was 17, 18 years old. And they all thought I died. They said they had funerals. They had it was in the newspaper. I go back and I look at it. I can't find it. But all my friends back then thought I died. And this is only 2 or 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't even realize, like, I didn't even put anything with that until the Mandela effect hit me in 2016. And I was like, holy shit, what if we are really dead here? I've been here quite a long time.
I think
slow learner, Pat.
But this is we could be dead, and this is our second chance. This is like freaking purgatory.
I remember, man, about that same year, I was like 4 years old, and my mother asked me on my birthday. This is just one like the most unexplained things in my life. She said, "Would you like to go to Sesame Street?" And I said, "Yeah, let's go to Sesame Street." And we're in Fort Worth. I mean, Grand Prairie, actually, at this time. And later I looked it up. They did have some sort of thing in Dallas where they had some sort of like theme park. And I said, yeah, we'll go Sesame Street. And we went to Sesame Street, man. And you can say John Thomas is crazy. But I remember being on Sesame Street. I seen Big Bird. Big Bird was enormous. You know what I mean? He was across the street. I remember holding my mother's hand, and she was like, "You want to go across the big bird?" And I said, "No." You know what I mean? He was big, big, like 8, 9, 10 feet, you know, tall, and Snuffleupagus was over there. And then I remember seeing like those Muppets and all that shit and Count walking down the street. And this is in my 4-year-old mind that I remember seeing Count walking down the street. And then I remember when I was a teenager, and I was thinking, wait a second, man, this don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I seen Count walking down the street. He was a puppet. You know what I mean? It's something's not adding up. And I asked Mother, I said, you know, you remember that time we went to Sesame Street? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, okay. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm getting shit confused. But later on, I've asked, you know, my mother, you remember when we went to Sesame Street? No, we never went to Sesame Street. What are you talking about? And I mean, it sounds bizarre, but I remember seeing Count walk down the street. And it wasn't until I was a teenager I was thinking, wait a second, Count was a puppet. I can understand, you know, seeing Big Bird and Snuffleupagus. That's somebody in a costume, right? But how did I see Count walk down the street? That was somebody with the, you know, hand up a puppet. And then I was like, man, I felt weird. And I just, you know, I asked my mother, I said, remember when we went to Sesame Street that time? And she was watching TV and she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I didn't ask any more questions. You know what I mean?
You should have.
I was like, okay, that happened. So I'm confused about having seen Count walk down the street. And
probably somebody dressed up as him in a big puppet head. And
I'm talking about, we never went to Sesame Street. You know what I mean? It never happened. But I remember the memory of my mother asking me on my birthday, did I want to go to Sesame Street? And we went. I remember how scared I was of seeing Big Bird. I mean, he was like a giant. And she said, you want to go see Big Bird? And I said, hell, I said, no. And I just holding her hand. We stayed on the other side of the street. But there's so many unexplained things.
Maybe you were at Disney or something.
Man, we didn't have the money, man. I'm telling you, we were poor. My dad left us when I was a little bitty.
Well,
none of that shit
sorry
adds
to hear that.
It does not add up, but it's in the memory banks.
And
they're going to say, well, John, there you go. You had a break when you was 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I just don't believe
any kind of truth that comes out, they want to place it. They want to place it in a nice little box.
Exactly, man. There's things happening that are from on high that cannot be explained, man, and that's what they're scared of.
And catching the weird weather, which I think is actually the battles in the sky as well. What happens up there? The weird lightning.
I'm not going to.
No sound.
I'm not going to. I think it's all a part of our testing. I don't care if I see aliens get out and they punch me in the mouth. You know what I mean? God's made in my image.
Yeah. So what was the question?
I just wanted to know if you've seen all the weird weather that I think is the battle in the heavens happening.
Oh, yeah. Could be.
Star Trains. Have you seen any of them?
Of what?
The what?
The Star Trains.
Oh, Elon Musk.
That's what I'm telling you. It's not Elon.
No, I haven't seen them.
That's the cover story. That is the cover story. In 2021, it was like the spring of 2021. I was hauling rock and sand for a cement factory, and I was out by Lake Whitney, and that's around here in North Texas. and I was waiting to get in, and man, I kept seeing stars moving around, and I seen a whole train of them. I'm talking like a whole train of stars. I'm not, and they were glowing and twinkling, and some of them were shooting off from the train like a 45-degree angle, like
Mm-hmm.
shooting stars. You know what I mean? They were in a train, and then some of them would shoot just like a shooting star right off the train. I know it's not Elon's Starlink. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's a cover story. They don't want us to know that shit's happening up there.
Well, remember, we're supposed to see signs in the sky.
That's what he said. We would see signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. That's what Christ told us would happen. I'm telling you, that ain't Starlink. They want us to believe that Elon. No, I seen stars shooting. I'm talking about so fast off the Star Train, like Star Trek.
There's all sorts of shit happening up there, but I'm talking specifically about the lightning that's been happening that's like all different colors, non-stop. It's like flickering, but you don't hear any thunder. And I'm like, okay, so that's further away than you could imagine. And if it's that bright, then that's probably the battles in space, and it's being hidden by the clouds that they keep making so that we can't witness it.
Also, after I seen the Star Train, I every time I would get to the pit where we would load up and stuff, when I would get out, and I'd usually have to, I'd have to pee and stuff, I'd look up, and this is like 4:35 in the morning, and it's still dark, and the first star I would see would start moving. It would just start traveling across the sky. That happened to me like 5 times, where the first, as soon as I looked up, you know what I mean? The first star I focused on, boom, it started moving. And it just slowly started moving across the night sky. And I mean, just kept on going. And, you know what I mean? And there was another time that there was a guy from El Salvador, Marco. We were waiting to get in. We got there real early. And I was talking to him, and I seen like a star doing like a figure 8 in the sky. And it was like moving around, like dancing almost. And I said, man, do you see that, Marco? And he kind of looked, and he didn't see it for a second, and we kept on talking. And he said, whoa. He said, what is it? He said, it is moving. It's moving. I mean, Marco freaked out. And he was saying, is it a helicopter? What is it? But, I mean, it's just like the song, what's that song about? Do you see what I see? A star.
Do you see what I see? Do
Dancing
you hear what I hear?
I mean, after I heard that song, after that, it reminded me of that time that Marco freaked out, and he's seen it too. And I know I'm not imagining the shit, but it didn't move very far from its place. It kept moving all around, but it didn't go too far. It was visibly moving, and it wasn't no helicopter.
That's pretty cool.
I
noticed
they're about to lose all their stuff.
Even the moon, if you can zoom in on the moon is always jumping around for me, and it's constant. I mean, it's like all over the place. So whatever the moon is and all that is like fluent. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It looks like different things in like different vibrations. Like if you put something on a speaker and you can see the sand or the different things that it can make, formations that it can make just by the vibration of the speaker. That's what the moon looks like it's doing.
It keeps looking like an eyeball to me. You know what I mean? Almost like an eye looking at me. Especially when it starts being like a half moon and stuff. It keeps on it looks like somebody's looking right at me.
Yeah, I mean, I've asked numerous people, like when I was younger, I don't remember the moon ever being out in the daylight, and people around here remember it, and so it's like, what is truth? Truth is what is it within you, I guess. Because who can tell one that they're lying? You can't tell one's memory that they're lying because they have a different memory than you. Who do you think mainstream will go with that theory? No. What I just said, they will never put on paper or in a book anywhere. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, because that science is settled for them, and yet
they might put it in a paper book because they know that's going to go away. They wouldn't carve it into stone, anything that would be permanent.
Yeah,
we have almost nothing carved into stone. Everybody else, even in the older civilizations, knew that if they were going to pass anything along, they had to write it in something that wouldn't get destroyed. We have all this technology, and it can all get wiped out with like a drop of a hat. The sun burps, the water comes too high. Like
yeah, right.
And kill us off. It's like
yeah, nobody would know.
Way of recording it. Like the only things that would survive right now are what the metal Mickey Mouse things and the statues of Mickey, and like Mount Rushmore, and like there wouldn't be a whole lot left.
Yeah, right.
Them scientists, it's their hope that 100 years from now, you know what I mean, that they're
and
more.
And all of the stuff from the stonemasonry would, because they always make metal plaques and things in rock and whatnot, because they're aware of this, apparently.
If 100 years from now, if scientists haven't advanced, you know what I mean, and learned more and more and more, and made these scientists look like a bunch of idiots, well, then that's a failure in their mind, right?
Yeah, so, I believe this place just keeps going in a circle.
Why should I listen to them now when it's their hope that 100 years from now that they've made these scientists into idiots?
Yeah, how many times have they restarted or rebooted? Anytime civilization starts to get smart, they have to dumb them back down. So they only make it to a certain point, and then it's takeover time. But they let us go too long this time because we've caught on to them. We've let it be known their secrets and their deceit on us, and it's out there, and whether we see it or not, people are waking up. It doesn't seem like enough of us, though.
I mean, think about this. If we're living inside of God's head and he set the rules, then science is just the will of a person. You know what I mean? It's his will that what goes up must come down type thing. So is any of their science really science? It's not. It's someone's imagination that this is the way it works.
Yeah.
It could be that nothing they think that they have a grasp on is real.
They're finding that out pretty quick on their own with the quote telescope they set to space that keeps having to reset the beginning of the universe clock every time it takes a new picture. They're like, oh shit.
Everything that we think is science could be illusion.
So, what it is seek and you shall find, because if you're looking for something, you're going to find it because your imagination's making it up right now in this, wherever it is we're at. And so the longer they look into space, the more space they're going to find. So that's why it keeps getting reset.
Look at what the Amish think, that technology is the devil's handiwork.
It is. It all comes from fallen angels.
I mean, what if gunpowder's not real? You know what I mean? That's just dirt.
Well, it's magic. It's mixing of chemicals together, which is witchcraft, because that's pharmakia, which is also witchcraft. That's potion
But
making.
see what I'm saying though? We think that that's science, that actually works.
Well, science is witchcraft. It's just they even have the same symbols. They just called it a fancy word and gets it funded.
If God is setting the rules, though, that okay, just like we're praying, lead us not into temptation. It could have been one of our demons that said, "Hey, mix these things together." You know what I mean? And that creates a big boom. That's gunpowder. What if that shit never worked? That the reality is we've got dirt inside of our bullets, and we think it's science, and we're going to be able to rely on that when it's an illusion. That's just crap you packed into a shell.
It's just
it never did work. It's an illusion.
One that we're working through.
We want to hold on to the idea that okay, we know at least how this works because we can replicate it. What if the replication is the lie to keep us leading?
Kind of like the placebo effect, where 1/3 of the population gets better just because they think it's going to make them better. The doctors rely on that in hospitals a lot.
What does it do every time we make a discovery that we think that we can replicate it over and over? It makes us proud, makes us selfish.
What it is we're trying to become God ourselves.
There you go.
It builds our ego.
There you go.
And
it makes us think that we are gods.
With elements, and I keep just giggling because they're like, "Look, I can do anything you can do," and I go, "No, you can't, because you have to start with nothing."
Which I've heard some people saying that they think that we are gods,
not with the elements that he provided, because that's his element, so he made that. How about you start from scratch and make something?
The Almighty tells us what's going to happen next. It don't matter, you know what I mean? If we think we are, little gods or what, we can be led into temptation.
Heck yeah. Well, that's one of the things they're hoping for and have been pushing and praying for. That's the whole self-delusion that everybody's living in, is you are your own God and you need to worship yourself and do what's best for you.
And we're desperately trying to grab something that we can hold on to, that it's our power now. We know how this thing works. We know how that thing works. See what we can do here.
It's taught us since birth.
It's leading us into temptation, and it'll fail us.
Everything of this world. That's why when I was listening to you guys wishing to go back to a certain time, it's like, you can't do that. We got to say goodbye to it all. All of it's going. It's all for naught. That's like when you hear Jim Carrey freaking out and he's telling you it doesn't matter because none of it matters.
No, it's all experience that each and every one experiences and shares with the rest of us. My experience I share with you all. You all are sharing your experience, so we're all learning from everybody.
You cannot love the world and love God. You have to let go of the world.
Right.
And love God.
Right. I'm talking about our souls.
Yes, you can love people, but
His will be done.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why
it was never His will for us to have guns or lasers or bombs.
Yeah.
But I mean, then none of that shit will go off when it's time for us to think we can fight.
It was not His will for us to even know right from wrong. We were just supposed to only know goodness and not even have any idea of evil and wrong.
Well,
and deception.
I think we had a great chat tonight. I'm starting to wear down. So
back of coffee.
Yeah, I don't have a coffee pot. I was gonna microwave some earlier.
Do you have a way of boiling water?
Yeah.
Boil water and take a filter.
Patrick, it's been good to hear from you again, brother. Last time it seems like it's been months and months.
Not now.
I guess it's only been about
Has it been? It seems longer, don't it?
This last couple months is long time.
Because this is a
Yeah.
first, so when it
It's
was
like
disappeared,
this.
it felt
It's
long.
like this year. This year flew by fast, but the last month or two kind of been going slow.
It has,
It's
yeah.
kind of.
Well, you need
This year
to be around
slammed on its
like-minded people
brakes.
so that you can have the presence of God, because that is a real good charge to reset yourself.
You know, I have brought Christ up many a times, but I have never gotten one response from it. You know, I've tried to initiate, you know, like I would say to one, hey, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, but I don't follow any one religion, you know, and nobody has ever taken me up on, has said anything after that. Isn't that weird?
Few and far between, and those brave enough to speak out in public are even fewer, which is sad, because that truly is the best way to just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off, because people are going to hate you or they're going to like you, and you might as well know which ones are which.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody talks about everything in there. So whenever somebody bring something Christianity or some sort of like especially when they start talking about Israel and Gaza and shit, then I insert myself with, hey, I'm a believer of Jesus Christ, you know, and everybody just kind of like.
Well, it's because that's not about either one of those sides, and that's about loving them and hoping that they both turn to Jesus Christ, and they don't want that.
I look what Christ said, Patrick. He said the first will be last and the last will be first. So whoever the world puts first, like Donald Trump or Joe Biden, those are going to be the last people that God needs to call up to heaven. You know what I mean? They're having a good time, and they're going to be doing this again. But the people that they put last, like Patrick, you know what I mean? Those are the first people God needs to save. The first will be last, and the last will be first, brother. You have a good evening.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good one.
Yep. Yeah. So, what are your You're still working at the Dollar General or something like that? Cashier somewhere? Yeah.
Well, at a family-owned corner store. It's a grocery store.
Oh, okay. So, how's that going for you? Everything going good?
Well, it's nothing but drama, but I'm trying to stay as clear from it as I possibly can, and just.
I suppose you're the family grocery store. Could you imagine back in the day, back in the early 1900s or late 1800s, where they'd have them family grocery stores? Did you hear about Wilma? She got pregnant again. Isn't that her seventh child?
Over 100 years.
What?
So that's what the store is.
Oh, that store?
Been there over 100
okay.
years. It's
that's
he
funny.
bought it from the original owner, and he's owned it for darn near 50 years. He was the original bank boy, the other owner.
Yeah. So I'm gonna definitely try to get more as I pull away from the situation I'm in now. Try to pull away as much as possible. I'm going to do more live streams too, so that will be nice to get back at this and get around people that understand me, I guess.
I hadn't heard from him. That's why I checked in a couple of times, just to make sure that everything was still going good.
It gets to be a bit of a lonely. It's kind of a lonely world, you know. There's a lot of people in it or around me, but it's still it's lonely. You know, it's like hanging out with people is it's like hanging like you would going there down to the bar and hearing the conversations is like me going and hanging out with a third grader, a class of third graders. It's like go gaga go gaga. You got that color. I got this color. I want that color. You can have that color.
Live with one.
Yeah.
With everything that I've.
And even though you like them, ew, they're so cute, you know. It's like they're very likable, and you know, it's like, you know, you could see yourself being very good friends with these people if they just weren't shorted some grades. You know, she's like, it's like yeah, grades, I guess.
I live with one that keeps jumping sides, and I don't know what the hell is going on. It's driving me nuts. He'll be awake for a few minutes and start talking on a subject, and then you can chime in and point out something stupid that popped up as a headline and be like, look what they're doing now. And all of a sudden, like, it's a life-ending conversation. And I'm just like, whoa. This is weird to watch, because it's almost like they're fighting waking up.
Yeah.
Because they see it, and then they don't see it, and then they see it, and then they don't see it. And it's like they're getting half the downloads, but not the other half. And then when they do snap, it's so overblown that I'm not even engaging, because I don't even know what to do with it, because it's just like life-ending epic proportions over stupid piddly things. And I'm like, really? Like, when was this ever something that should potentially cause your world here to crumble? Like, I don't get it. And I have to live with it, which is painful sometimes, because his easiest to snap moments are first thing in the morning when all the headlines roll in on you, turn on your phone, and of course they all pop in. And
you know, I was going to bring up a couple new Mandela effects that were in my and now I did not write them down, and I should have written them down because they were basically personal Mandela effects. I guess they're personal until other people know that they are a Mandela effect, I guess.
Or you get confirmation from somebody else.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But there's been a lot of different things happening as far as the Mandela effect. And there's so many reasons.
As the time is in the end, everything's speeding up, so you're going to see, it's like an implosion that you're witnessing. But it's because everything in this world
slow motion,
made of lies, and it's all collapsing in on itself. So
yeah,
we're just watching.
Yeah, watching it crumbling. Yeah, that's what I was saying
people
earlier.
Are crumbling with it, which is like painful to watch. Because you want to help them, but like you can't, because there are people that are so touchy that like you go to touch them and they'll bite you. Like literally bite you. And you just wanted to give them a hug or be nice or do something, and no, they'll bite you.
Yeah.
But like it's like that, just trying to be nice to some of the homeless people, because some of them are pretty, well, I get that they're being treated bad by some people and they're not in their right mind, and so that's a bad combination. And so like you want to go up to just make sure that they're okay and you've eaten today and everything's good with you, and like they're confrontational and pull out a knife or threaten to kick the living crap out of you, and you're like, whoa, I just wanted to make sure you were okay. Like, you know, like I get that not everybody treats you okay, and so I just wanted to make sure you had somebody treating you like a human today.
Yeah, right.
It's so foreign to them. just something simple like that, and it's I don't even know what to do with that anymore.
Right.
Because it's like a constant thing now. Everybody's on edge, and anything could set them off. It's a powder keg waiting to go. And I'm going, this is not going to be fun, because like, it's not everybody, but it's going to be enough that it's going to be a painful watch. And because we're so soft over here, it's not going to go over very well, because the normal people that you would turn to like defend in this sort of crisis are all in emotional and mental crisis, or have some sort of issue or phobia, and they're not going to be able to do it. So it's going to then fall back to just those of us that are willing, and there's not going to be defenders. Luckily, the only defender we need is God. So,
amen. Amen.
It's not going to be pretty, but we're going to be okay. We just have to keep trudging along and trying, and trust in Him every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Let Him take the lead and just walk the path. Not a comfortable walk. It's not a fun walk, but there will be the odd person you touch along the way that'll make it all worthwhile.
So hopefully we can do this as a weekly thing. Hey, would you like to do something weekly?
I think we should. Just for everybody's own personal recharge point, so we can all touch.
Yeah, we're going into the hard times here, not only with everything that's going on. Winter time is always rough on me, for sure. And so I'm going to try to, no, I'm not going to try, I'm going to do this a weekly thing. And if Cammie will join me, then we can, between Cammie and I, we'll figure a day and time, and we will
it'll have to be after I'm off work, because I can't guarantee any day right now. That's kind of one of the drama things of work, is my days won't stay the same for some reason.
Okay, so we will figure it out, but we'll figure it being one at least one day a week, and we never put a time limit on it, because it could go from I don't think I've ever having an hour stream, but at least 2 hours.
10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
I guarantee you it'd probably be more than at least 2 hours stream, and it could be a lot more. Who knows? How it depends on how awake we are, and but yeah. So let's plan on that. So the next time will be sometime between here and next week. This time.
God willing.
Right? Yes, right. God keeps me alive long enough. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Cammie, for joining me. All of a sudden, she just went, bloop.
I was charging my phone.
Say goodbye to them kitties.
Goodbye, everybody. Here, I'll briefly show everybody my wonderful hick tooth.
And with that, Cammie is out.
See you, everybody.
Adios, Cammie. So, with that, I am going to bid you guys a good night. Thanks a lot for stopping in and chatting. If you didn't make it to the live, leave a comment on if your opinion on any part of this. We welcome all opinions. With that, God bless you guys. Love you guys, and stay strong. We're almost there.